Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Dan-A-Plooza. We are now starting to enter the home stretch as this is episode 199. And of course, the 200th episode is on Thursday with a 6-woman panel, but we will get into that on Thursday. So let's get into the main event tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall with a 25-minute time limit. My guest to the left of me, she is the multi-talented actress. Give it up, virtual round of applause for Stephanie Swift.
Thank you so much, Dan. Good to talk to you again. 199 episodes.
That is the ring announcer introduction.
2 years, huh?
Yes.
Wow. Well, when was the last time we spoke? Do you remember what episode number that was? Because I don't remember the number.
Oh, I'd have to go back. It's many. It's in March, I know, this year.
Yeah, if I could turn back time.
On the way.
By the way.
I take that and hurt you.
That you say.
You say. Make it make it a remix.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go ahead and play the game. The game is Dan the Man Does Impressions and Songs segment. So we have a lovely spin wheel.
Spin that wheel. All right, Dan, I can't see you spinning the wheel, but I assume that you were totally doing it. Oh, you just don't want me to see it, huh? All right. Then I'll talk about my really cute headband that I won last night. So thank you, Stage Warp. I love my headband.
That is my impression of John Cena. You can't see me. Now we're back.
Okay. I didn't see it.
No, that's because we got kicked out, but that's how I cover it. I say that's my John Cena impression. So I hope you enjoyed it.
What are the other options?
Exactly.
I don't get to see any of them. Do not have Taylor Swift on there.
Yes. So we have suggestions. We have Gaston impression. We have Jafar.
Okay.
Ben Stein. Some people didn't know who that was.
Oh, I totally know who Ben Stein is. Okay, I would like that one. Yeah.
Oogie Boogie. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And Napoleon Dynamite. And for the songs,
Napoleon Dynamite.
And for the songs, we have "I'm Blue" by Eiffel 65.
Okay.
We have "Razzle Dazzle" by Chicago. Some people didn't know that.
Give them the old razzle.
Razzle Dazzle. We have "Bad to the Bone" by George Thorogood. "Little Shop of Horrors" Dadu. "Twisted Sister," "We're Not Gonna Take It," and "Rocky Horror Time Warp."
Time Warp. Let's do. Okay. Let's say Napoleon Dynamite. Let's do the Time Warp.
All right. You want me to give it a spin? All righty.
Yep. Let's give it a spin.
It's Chicago Razzle Dazzle. Old Razzle Dazzle. Razzle Dazzle Dum.
Well, you know, it's funny. So after my husband was just in the prime stage production of The Miracle Worker, so he ended that run today, and I ended the run for the show I was in last night, which was The Haunting of Hill House with Stage Work, which was Mrs. Montague. Yeah, it was a blast. But we got done with that, so we went to this place called the Federal Galley, and it's like this place that has all these different food vendors and drinks and whatever. So I'm getting street tacos, and the gentleman, who was really cute and younger, said to me, "Did anyone ever tell you look like Roxy Hart?" And I said, "Like Roxy Hart from Chicago?" And he said, "Yes." And I wanted to say, before or after the plastic surgery, because then I'm thinking if it's the movie, Renee Zellweger. I love Renee Zellweger, but she doesn't look like Renee Zellweger anymore. So I was like a little depressed. So I thought, do I look like I've had work done? I don't know. But I took it as a compliment, and I said, thank you. And that was it. That just happened tonight. So I was laughing that we're now talking about Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Such a great show. That's one of my bucket list roles, by the way. It would be I would be more the Velma side of it.
Oh yeah.
I prefer to portray Velma. I don't know. I think you would be a fantastic Mary Sunshine.
There you go. Yeah.
You
Do you want me to get?
show?
No. Do you want me to get back to the song? I can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get distracted. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. Give 'em the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle dum. Give 'em a show that's so splendiferous. Row after row will grow vociferous. Da, 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 da. Give 'em the old flim flam flux. Daze and dizzy them.
Fantastic.
Thank you. I did that in music music theater class.
Yes,
back in college.
Quite yeah, that's a fun one. That's probably in my top 10 songs that I would say are good for like a fun audition if you're going to go do something like more in the musical theater realm. I haven't auditioned for a musical in quite some time. I don't even know what I would sing.
They said, razzle dazzle us, Dan.
Yep. Would that be a show that you would want to do?
Oh, yes. Oh, I could see myself as Mr. Cellophane. Won't don't you say my name?
Yep, I could see that too. That'd be another one. I don't actually like the Billy role in that show as much as I liked some of the other comedic roles, or even that song, I think is so. It embodies what the dynamic is of the sad husband at the time, and it's like kind of breaks my little heart, but breaks my little Roxy heart.
Let's spin again.
All right.
Landed on Rocky Horror Time Warp.
Okay, Time Warp. Now, do I get to pick the character then?
Yeah, whatever character.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes control. So listen closely, even you, Danny DeVito.
Oh no.
I've got to keep control for John O'Connor.
For John O'Connor.
I remember doing the movie Twins during the Time War. Drinking those moments when, and the voice would be calling, Arnie to the Time Warp again.
Wow.
It's not a tumor, and it's just a jump to the left.
Not a tumor, it's just a jump to the left.
You bring your knees in tight, and you watch Jingle All the Way until you do the pelvic thrust.
I swear to God, you had to have known this was coming beforehand, because it's just too much comedic gold.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did Arnold for the last one, and they first asked me where I learned Arnold, and I learned Arnold from Bill Hader. I don't know if you know Bill Hader.
Of course I do.
He's a production assistant for the movie Collateral Damage, and basically he was Arnold's PA, and Arnold would be like, PA, come here. I need you to go find Danny and Mike and, show me your leadership skills and go get the makeup guys for me, okay?
Sorry. I'm like fighting a cough, so.
And in Collateral Damage, they shot it like in Mexico or somewhere like really hot.
Of course they did.
And Arnold's just in a white beater and boxers playing chess. And he's late to set because he's playing chess. Okay. And so they're trying to get him to not play chess and do the damn movie that they're all there for. And so, flies would be swatting, and, like mosquitoes, and the interviews on Conan, but they imagine it like King Kong, like, you know, they said a
Yeah.
mosquito bites, he flexes, the mosquito pops, in two. But Arnold, he was like, uh, the production people were told not to interact with Arnold. Don't play chess because we can't do the
Oh,
movie.
okay.
And so he would write to people. Bill Hader would send messages to the crew. I need you to lose so we can do the scene. And so people would just, sacrifice their queen or something like
Oh,
that.
that's great.
And so then Arnold caught on. He's like, what is this? We are not playing the game. What is this? Lose it. What is this piece of paper? And like,
Oh
he
my
got
goodness,
very
that's funny.
furious about
I've
it.
never
But
heard that story before. Now you need to watch, if you have not seen this, it is well worth your investment of time. On
yes.
Netflix, they have his autobiographical, his life story.
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 segments total. Same thing with Sly Stallone. He just had one that just came out, I
Oh,
think.
wow.
We started watching that. I mean, talk about things I would never guess that happened when he was back in Austria or Germany. Just like
yeah.
that, and the struggles he had, and he wanted to be Mr. Universe from the time he was
Oh,
young.
yes.
But how he had to really struggle to like convince people that he needed to get the hell out of there to like actually do it in America. And then when he came here, no one thought he was going to act in anything. They're like, the guy can hardly even be understood in half the instances. But it wasn't even all about that. It was just him being himself, and he played himself very well. And I still remember the first time I saw Terminator thinking, this guy is legit. Like, he's a robot. He is AI. Before AI to be like, or, get in the best. I said, this guy is AI, because it was so damn convincing. But yeah, I mean, yeah. And then like Kindergarten Cop. I love that movie. Yes. Twins.
Nakatuma.
There's so many great films. But the autobiography that they did was it was well done. And there's in 3 parts. I think like the first part's his bodybuilding career, then the second part's his acting career, and the third is like his family and miscellaneous stuff. But you have to watch it and tell me what you think. But fantastic impression, by the way. You should play him.
Yes. And then Bill Hader also does the impression of Al Pacino. And they said, how did you learn to do Al Pacino? And they just watched him do like a ceremony, and he's like, well, it's real nice here. We got some cameras and some lights. All right.
Son of a woman. Like, okay.
And
that's pretty good. Yeah.
He did an audition for SNL doing that, and they said, be Al Pacino talking to his new maid staff, and so he's like, if there is a cantaloupe on that kitchen counter, when I come back, I will lose my mind.
That is fantastic. Totally love that. Oh my gosh. Well, I got to tell you, I have sort of stepped back a little bit. I don't know if you saw from film acting in particular to transition into directing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had the opportunity to direct for the first time. And this isn't necessarily the best way to be introduced to directing. It's stressful enough, but the 48-hour film competition where you get from like Friday night at 5:30, a genre, a line you have to do verbatim, and, a prop, and you have to meet all the criteria, and you have to have it done in 48 hours and turned in. So first time ever co-directing, and it was stressful because we had a crew of 2 to do a full-scale, pretty Shining-esque / Get Out kind of vibe called Iniquitous. So we pulled it off, and 3BT, which was the team I was on, we got Zane and I got nominated for best directors for that. So first time I was like really honored that they thought that I could actually do it or that I pulled it off, but I was one of the only women that was nominated too in that category in Pittsburgh. So I thought, well, Miss maybe is a sign I should try it. And I want to direct a stage show now after just doing one where I portrayed a character that was kind of a fun bitch. And it was very much a Devil Meets Prada Karen, and from the 1950s, and that was super fun, and I got to sort of exercise my acting chops. But what I found I really enjoyed was seeing the whole thing come together and looking at it from a director's standpoint too. So I want to try to do that now.
Yeah, and that's important. I'm glad you're having that great adventure.
Yeah, it's just the beginning of it. I mean, again, I directed back in college. So back in the day, in the early 2000s, I directed, you've probably heard or familiar with the show, The Actor's Nightmare, which is the one where the actor wakes up and he's not an actor, he's an accountant. And basically has to be thrown into like 4 plays, including Private Life, one of them. What's the other one? The Noel Coward one. And then there's what's the absurdist one? Why can't I think of it? Waiting for Godot, or I think that's in there. There's 4 of them.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, he gets thrown into it, doesn't know any of the lines, and freaks out, and everyone's counting on him. And we did the all-female version. And I remember the actress at the time, she said to me, well, what's this all about? And I said, just act like you don't know what you're doing. Like you still have to deliver the lines, because the actor knows bits and pieces of monologues from different things, but that's about it. So just throw them all in there and make it convincing. And it actually ended up being a really great show. I have the video cassette when we had video cassettes. And it's fun to watch the VHS and go back to that. But that was my real first foray into it. And then like 20-ish years later now, I sort of want to get back to that. So do you want to act for me? I like you.
Probably. I think you would like to know this funny story. So I used to be part of an improvisation troupe, and everyone would always give me Harry Potter because I don't know anything really much about Harry Potter. So I'm not
familiar with Harry Potter either. I'm familiar, but limited.
So for it, they would always do scenes from a hat or something like that, and they would go, Dan, Harry Potter, and I'd be like, crap, because like I would make up such ridiculousness, and so I found one way. So sometimes what I would do to end it or not be done is I would take my hands together and I would go poof, and like I would, like it was like a motion to disappear, to not play that segment anymore.
Like this, right? Like invisibility. Yes.
Yes. I would just go do poof, and then like I would shrink down, and like everybody would like get a laugh out of that, because they're like, that's Dan's go-to to not do the sketch anymore. So
that's really awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know that I haven't done much improv. My husband, Rick Dutro, is great at improv.
Okay.
I say it's just because he's always thinking on his feet, but it's not necessarily my forte, but I like the challenge occasionally. And when they used to have Friday night improv in Pittsburgh, and I think they still do it at the thing, but I would go to that and always watch in awe, just thinking like that's a true skill. And in theater, a lot of times you understand something can go wrong. Like during our performance of The Haunting of Hill House, a gentleman in the second row that was probably ancient, in his 80s maybe, his cell phone went off twice. It was the kind that's like an alarm that goes, I will in the middle of me doing a monologue, it's like da, 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 and just kept getting louder. And it went off twice and in a row. And he wouldn't shut it off. He just like didn't even acknowledge it almost. And I'm trying to do my dialogue and I'm like trying not to be distracted. Next thing I know, I blanked. I mean, it was a scary thing. And I skipped like half a page ahead because I just went to what I thought of in my mind would come next.
Oh yeah.
We did go back and cover that material that was missed, but I was angry because, I'm thinking like, what should I even acknowledge it? Should I say something like, the spirits in this house that dwell in here are angry because now there's alarms going off, like I was trying to think of what to do, but then I thought that might actually throw me off more. So thinking back to improv skills, it would have been really great if I had just maybe been able to slide right into the next part a little bit better. But it's okay. Yeah, it's still all worked out. But I think after that, they, said, now we're going to do this announcement at the beginning to make sure people turn off the cell phones, which I always thought that they were doing that. But obviously they weren't, or he didn't listen or hear or care.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it went all right. But like I said, that was kind of one of the bigger challenges, with this past show that had happened, that I was trying to be prepared for all scenarios, but that's one of them. When you have to protect your people too. When you're on stage, if your people need, you to cover for them, whatever reason, maybe they're having an off night, maybe they have a headache or whatever, or just had a really emotional day, you just have to be able to stand and be able to be their best scene partner and kind of know where to go with it, whatever happens. So that's so different than film, because I was so used to, for the last 5 years, being able to say, okay, cut. Can we now do that again? Yeah, we can. But you don't do that on the stage, as you know.
No.
And I think the directing side of it would make the most sense right now, where I have kind of gotten into my later years, well, in the industry and career and my interest level. So it's kind of neat to see the big picture and hope that comes to fruition. And then Thursday we have a cool opportunity. It's basically what's happening in Pittsburgh is the Women in Film and Media sort of organization, after a long hiatus, is now reforming. So they're looking for individuals to kind of help them network and have more directing and acting projects that are female centered or female based, which I'm going to do a shameless plug now, and I will stand up and show you. Swipe right. I was trying to swipe right, but I think it's opposite because it's on your screen. But we have the premiere on Saturday night, and it's Kaylee Fitzgerald with Bokeh Pictures, or Boca Pictures. I probably said it wrong, but she's having the premiere for her 2 episodes of Swipe. And it's a comedic piece that she did, I think, over the last 2.5 years. So it's premiering in Zelienople, and then I play a Karen part. So I have a small role of Karen. Maybe this is a theme now, Karen. So I have that, but I also get to see the trailers that she did for her proof of concepts that I was a part of. So that's on Saturday night. So I'm really getting pumped up for that.
All beat up. Yeah.
Come up here, and I would love to show you around and take you there, if you could.
I think the improv, one of the hardest scenes I ever got was I had to be like a river dancer, like a little person wrestler. That was like the choice and everything like that. And I'm like, that's very specific. Are you missing like little people wrestling river dance on HBO?
Well, I have to tell you what, there's no small roles, even when you're a midget. See, get it?
I know.
But and I was river dance. Yeah, I used to really be into that Michael Flatley stuff, and I like that. I'm real Irish, so I was down, but never tried it. Like tap and such, so maybe I'd be good at it. I don't know. Maybe that'll be next. Try river dance. But yeah, so that's kind of fun. That, like I said, I get to really try that aspect out, and there's some other local filmmakers that said they'd like to maybe collaborate in this upcoming year. So I'm looking forward, though, to taking a little break right now and regrouping and sort of deciding on what projects I want to do next year. And there's a couple premieres coming up and a couple things that are going to be released. In fact, Macabre Mountain, which I did last year, it just came out, but it's going to various movie theaters, but like smaller venues, and they're going to look to release it. So that was pretty fun. I played the psychologist, like I always do, but this time the sister of the lead character that was trying not to be that psychoanalyst of him, but it sort of ended up being that way. And Felissa Rose was in that one. Dave Sheridan, Hannah Fierman, my husband Rick Dutro's in it as well, and Xander Goldman. So that's gonna hopefully be released to VOR at some point soon.
Alrighty, well, I think that wraps up another episode of Dan-A-Plooza. 200th episode will be Thursday, and then I will be on vacation. So everyone take care and have a good night. Episode 199.
Great to talk to you, Dan. Appreciate it. You're the best. Mwah.